Texas.
That's nasty. KARP book, that's awesome.
I have to put these out there.
Yeah, we'll put these up. My own
That is.
friend,
Nice. Those are just good.
friend, are you gonna use this?
But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. And my feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at, and turn it back around. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me. All the blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Oh, I paid the dearest price. And no shortcuts here for destiny. I'll take the long way proud. Oh, I know what I've earned, and now it's my turn. Lighting the fuse, let it burn. My time is rising, and you can't bring me down. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. And my feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at, and turn it back around. Can't stop me. Can't stop me now. No, 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 you can't stop me now. This is the calm before the storm. You know what's coming, so be warned. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. Though my feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at, and turn it back around. Can't stop me. Oh, yeah. Can't stop me now. No, 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 you can't stop
What the lawyer said was.
This way, that way.
Each other, we're having their 90th birthday parties on the same weekend. We gotta see.
Don't spit, we want to eat that.
Happy birthday.
No, you turn the light around.
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Actually, I was going to let Dick read off his list of ailments. But that would take too long.
Yeah.
So I'll let David finish.
Really? Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I apologize in advance if I offend anybody.
Oh, go
Because,
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna sit down here.
But,
Is this going to be risky?
yes, is that okay? I hope you're okay with risque, because,
Waiting for it.
oh, good, we're waiting for the risque. Yeah, I hope I don't get too emotional when I get through this, but, you know, I'm best friends with my dad for 53 years. 90. And, you know, I've been very fortunate to grow up in the family that I have. And with all the friends that we have as well, it's been a great life so far. And my parents have been married 62 years. And
I hope so.
Lynn.
62 and a half, actually. So 63. And I remember asking my dad, we had a 60th anniversary party. We all got together, the whole family, and we had dinner, and it was a great time. And I said, to what do you attribute the longevity of your marriage? And he said, you have to overlook everything. And he also said, never go to bed angry. And one time I remember my dad was up for 4 days. And so it was a tough time at the house. And if you haven't noticed, he's replaced all the windows. They're all bifocal windows now, so he can see out at the same time. But there's one incident in particular that I do want to share. Some 22 years ago, we had a little concern with prostate. And I remember the time very well. My dad actually wasn't feeling all that well anyway. He had a cough, and it just kind of, that heavy thing just kind of followed him everywhere. And we had to check him into the hospital. I remember that pretty well. And so I came to the house, and he's one of the guys that tells you what never was. You see that? That was never there. When I was your age, that was never there. You see that building? That building wasn't there. Dad, that's the house. We haven't even left the driveway yet. And so we get in the car, and that hack is following him all the way to the hospital. I'm in there with my mom. And we get to the hospital, and the first thing we have to do is check him in and go through triage. And so they're doing that, the height and the weight, and talking to my mom. And they're doing the insurance information. My dad's sitting in the corner with the hack. And the triage nurse looks at my mom at the end of all of this, and she says, do you and your husband still have intercourse? And my mom said, I don't know, let me ask my husband. So he's sitting there in the corner, he's got the hack, honey, do we still have intercourse? And he said, what? Do we still have intercourse? No! Blue Cross! So, we get him admitted to the hospital. And we're told that we've got a single room that no one's going to be in there. We're solo. There's another bed, but there's not supposed to be anybody in there. So we finally get him all in, and he's set up, and the curtain is closed. So the doctor comes in, actually the nurse comes in, I should point that out, and breezes past us and opens up the curtain and revealing a man sitting, actually lying in bed next to us. We're a little startled just because we were told we'd have a solo room. No problem, but there's a little bit of that awkwardness because the family's over here and you're kind of talking in hushed tones. You don't want to be too loud, and there's a divide between the two beds, and he's just there by himself. So finally, there's a break in our discussion, and he takes all the mystery out of it, and he decides to call to us as he's laying there facing straight up. And as he does, we notice that he has a bit of a stammering problem. And he says, hey, what are you in here? What are you in here for? My dad says, I've got a prostate problem. And the man says, oh, what's a prostate? And Dad said, I pee like you talk. The doctor comes in, and my dad said, Doc, I can't pee. The doc said, how old are you? He said, I'm 79. He said, you peed enough. But as I said at the top, I'm a very lucky guy. I still get to play golf with him, and he still does that. He still works out a few days a week, and he's living long enough just to piss my mom off. With that, I will turn things over to the magician who's going to magish for you. I don't know if you're allowed to take photos or video. Is that okay with you or not? Because I understand there's a copyright that goes along with it. There is? Isn't there? It's news to me. Well, his merchandise will be available after the show. If you have a shop, make sure you stop by.